As you become part of the instructional technology
for applied teaching with technology
network, some things that I want for you to think about are resources to help you gather information about what's going on. Because one of the things that's fascinating about technology is that it's constantly evolving and changing.
Some
And
class
staying on
format
top
and
of some of those
basic
things can be
information
a
that will help you
full-time job.
navigate
But
our
we'll-
semester together.
I'll share some
And
resources
after that, we're
that'll
going to
help
talk
you
a
stay
little
on
bit
top
about
of
your
it.
first 2 projects.
So the first
creating
site that I
a
wanted to
blog
share
and
is the
creating
United
a
States
website
Office
to
of
serve as a
Educational
portfolio for your
Technology.
work.
And again, these are all linked
So the first
from
thing that
the
we'll talk about is
presentation
some
on the
basic
website.
routines
But
and
this is actually
expectations you can
from
have so
the
that you'll
United
know what
States
to do each
Department of
week in class.
Education and some of their
So before class,
research
at
initiatives
the beginning of the
and
week, there will
research
be an
findings.
article for you to read. You need to make
Education
sure
Week
to
is a
understand it
greatly
fully
weekly
and come
publication
prepared to engage
that
in an
shares a
activity
lot of
that
information
has
about
to
what's
do with
going
the
on, and they
reading.
have a technology column in
The
their
first 30 minutes
publication
of
that
class
is
on
definitely
Monday
worth checking out.
will be used to present projects or new
Innovate
information.
is another. It's actually
For
a
the
private
first
company
6
that does
or so weeks
consulting
of
and
class,
workshops.
each
but
week there's a project
the group of
that's
people
due,
here
and so
tends to
that'll
really
be an
stay kind of on
opportunity
the
for us
pulse
to
of
share
what's
those
going
projects
on in classroom
One thing
practice.
that I just wanted to let you know is that
Another
projects
great
may be
classroom
completed
site is Classroom
individually
2.0.
or certainly in
They really
pairs
focus
as well.
a lot
We can talk
of
about that a
energy
bit
on
in
social
class.
media and interactive web-based technologies.
The
that
last
are worth
20
using
minutes
in
of
the
class on
classroom.
Monday will be spent discussing readings.
Ed
But
Tech
please
Talk
come ready
is
to expect more than
an
just a
online
discussion,
webcasting
because each
community,
week we're
so
going to
a lot
have
of the information here is
somebody who is a
collaborations
reading leader
between
who's going
educators.
to have an
So if you're
activity
trying to get an
plan,
idea
that way we can
of
really
what other
engage
people are
in the
doing, this is a
material
great
in
site.
an
I've
interesting
tended
and
to
innovative
find that
way.
if you post,
So
for
some
example,
ideas
in
for
their
that
chat
might be a
room,
type of
people are
debate
quick to respond
or
with
some kind of
ideas
technology
and suggestions
application
to
that
enhance
relates
your
to the
practice.
topic that we read about.
Curriki is another site
Similarly,
which
before you come to class
purposefully
on
links
Wednesday, you
curriculum
need to
with,
watch a video or screencast just like this
instruction,
one.
and so
what that's
trying
going
to
to
think
do
about
is
how
allow
to
you to have
not
some
only use
background
technology
information and
for
be
its fun and
prepared for
engaging
class
aspects,
on
but
Wednesday.
also in ways
that
that
way
will
we
help
can use as much time as
deepen and
possible
strengthen learning
for you
objectives.
to get some of your projects
This particular
done,
site
for me
does
to
a
answer
great job of
questions and
linking
those
up
kinds of things.
teaching
we want to keep it as
resources
busy
with
and interactive
content
as possible
areas.
while we're together. So some of
Hybrid
the more
pedagogy
basic
is another
preliminary
great site
information I'll
with
be
lots of
delivering to you
ideas
via these
about using
screencasts.
combining
That way we can
technology
spend our
with
time together
quality
productively.
teaching in the classroom. It's one of the things we'll talk
For
about
the
as we
first
look
10
at the
minutes on
TPAC
Wednesday,
model.
each
How
of
do
you
we
will
fuse
sign up 1 week to be the cool
content
tools
knowledge
leader. And
and
basically the
pedagogy
idea
in
behind that is that
an effective
you'll be able
way.
to share an innovative software
And the last site
or
that I just
hardware
found
tool,
pretty interesting is that
or
Skype is a
product
service
you
that a
think
lot of
might
us are
relate
familiar
to
with in
classroom
terms
practice.
of
You might give an
having the
example
ability
of how it's
to
used,
video
or you
conference
might talk
with
about
people.
how it relates
But they
to
have a
lessons
recent
that could be
initiative
taught by
that's
some of your
Skype
classmates.
education. And so what
And
you
how
can
that
do
relates to the
is send out a
pedagogy of
request
teaching
for
and
a
the
certain
content
type
that
of
you wanna
person
get
in your
across to
content
students.
area, or if you're doing a special project.
The last
Connect
40
with
minutes
them
of
and then
class
figure
on
out
Wednesday
ways
is going to be spent working on that
with each
particular
other.
week's project.
So those are just some
that way
basic
you'll have
links.
time to do any
I would highly
troubleshooting
recommend
or ask questions of
bookmarking
me
them in
while
your
we're
website,
together.
in your webpage.
That will also give you
the other
the
thing is that a
opportunity,
number
if
of
you're
those
working with a
sites
partner,
have
to
Twitter
have time
feeds
together so
and
that you
or
can spend
Facebook
less time
pages, and
outside
so
of
if
class
you, instead of you going
on
out
those
to
kinds
those
of
sites
things,
on a
but it
regular
will
basis,
allow you to
many
communicate
of
with
them
each
will
other, and
send
if nothing else,
information to
set
you
up time to work together
on
in the
some
future.
social media. We're going to spend a few minutes
So
talking
one of the
about your
first
first
things that
2
I want
projects.
for you to get
and what I want
familiar
for you
with
to do is
Google
overview
Docs.
some of these
Many of you
resources
may
just
have
so
used
that
Google
you then
Docs in the
have
past,
the
but Google
opportunity
Docs
to
are a
come
great
to
way
class
for us
tomorrow
to
or Wednesday
collaborate
morning
on
prepared
some of the work
with
that we're doing.
which service you'd like to use, and
this
we'll
is
spend
also
a good
something
chunk
you're
of
going to need to
class
sign
time
up for this
setting
week
up
so that
your
you
personal
can
blog and your webpage
pick
for this
the date
semester.
that you'd like to be the reading
So
leader
the first
and
thing
the
we'll
cool
talk about
tools
for a few minutes
leaders.
is blogs. Blog is an abbreviation for weblog, and basically
here's
what
a
it
short
is
video
a personal
that'll tell us a
journal
little bit
or
about
way
them.
of sharing information with the public. There are 3 blogging services that
Whether
I
it's a
recommend.
lawnmower or a coffee pot, it has a home in our lives. Of course, our documents are no different.
first one
For
that I'll
years, they
recommend
lived
is
on our
Google
computers.
Blogger.
Each
There
person
is
has
some
their
real
own
benefits to
computer-based
Google
home for
Blogger
documents.
because,
When we need to share a document, we
they
usually attach it
have-
to an email and send it to a friend's or coworker's computer at home.
Google has
Here's the problem. When you attach a document to an email, copies are created. Consider this. If you send an email attachment to 3 people, the same document will exist in 4 different places. That's a problem. There's a better way, and it means saying goodbye to messy email attachments. This new kind of home isn't on your computer, it's on the internet. And that makes sharing and collaborating on documents much easier and gives you full control over who can see and access your documents. Here's the basic idea. Instead of attaching a document to an email, let's switch it around and look at how we can attach an email address to a document. Meet Sam. Sam is the editor of a neighborhood newsletter called the Oak Tree View. She works with local writers who would like to publish articles in the newsletter. Sam
link
loves
in
her
the site.
job, but often feels
And I've got a
frustrated
few
when time
examples
is
of each
wasted
just to give
managing
you
all the
some basic
articles.
ideas
It's a familiar problem.
of what's
Each
out
month,
there. So
writers
the
send her
first one that
draft
we'll take a
articles
look
as
at
email
is
attachments. She reviews them and sends them back with comments.
And this
One article
is
might
of the
create
blog
6
of
different
attorney
versions of the
Debbie
same
Fields, who is
file,
a
not to
researcher
mention
at the
countless
University of
emails.
Utah.
Sam often feels
And
buried by
some
all
of the
the
things
email
that you'll see
attachments.
is that
She finds it hard to keep
blogs
track
can
of
help
all
you
the versions being sent to her from the
document your work
writers.
so that you
As the
can
deadline
remember
looms,
things that
frustration
happen, and really
rises.
share your
Something
interests
has to
and passions
give.
with other
Sam decides to
people.
try
Often
something
blogs
new.
are shared
Google Docs.
with
Here's
people
what
who
happens.
are interested
First,
in
she visits the Google Docs
a
page
particular
and creates a
topic.
free
They're
Google
really passionate
account.
about
She
it, and they
logs
want
in,
to
and
kind of
because some
create that
articles were already
community
written, she
and
uploads
share
the
what
current
they know
drafts
with
right
other
from her
people who have
computer.
similar
With a snap,
interests.
Google Docs turns the offline articles
Bronson
into
Office
online
Notes
versions.
is actually the
Now,
blog
all she
of
needs to
my
do is
former
invite the
principal when
writers
I
to
was
collaborate
an
on the
elementary school
documents.
teacher.
Here's how. She
And one of
clicks
the things
share,
that this really
inserts
highlights
email
is that
addresses,
blogs can
and
be a
clicks
great way
invite
to communicate
collaborators.
important information
Google
with
Docs
other
sends the
people.
writers an email
So
with a
in my
secure
case, what
link
happened
directly to
was
her
instead of
document.
getting a
One
daily
click, and they
email
can
with
edit and save the
events that were
document
happening at the
online.
school,
This
the
means that when
principal would
Julie
post
edits the
onto his
document,
blog, and it
Sam
was
sees
our
the changes
responsibility
immediately.
to double
Since
check
there's
each
only one
one.
document,
That
there's
meant
never
that
confusion
that
about
our
updates or
email boxes
versions.
didn't
It's
get
all
clogged up,
saved
and it
along
also
with the
meant
past
that
versions on the
people
website.
could be
For the
aware of
first
updates
time,
and
the
changes
articles
to
all have a
schedules
home, a single
instantaneously
place for
without too
organizing and
much of
editing
a
that is accessible
hassle.
from any computer with internet access.
And the third thing
Problem
that I'll share is
solved.
that blogs
What's really
can
cool is that this
evolve
problem
into
isn't just
wikis
solved for
and other
documents,
collaborative
but also
spaces
spreadsheets and
that allow you
presentations.
to work with
All
other
three
people.
can now
So
have a
to make
secure
your own
home on the
blog is an
web that works
example of
exactly
some of
like
the work
Sam's
that I do
documents. Sam
with
is
my
relieved.
lab
Without having to
with
deal with
Dr. Bull.
attachments, multiple
And
versions, and
because we
all that
have
clutter,
about
she
a
can be
dozen
an
different
editor instead of a document
students who
master.
are working
And
on
for the next
various
newsletter,
aspects of
not
some
a
of the
single
research
email
looking at
attachment is
digital
sent, and Sam
fabrication
beats the deadline
and
by a
engineering
week.
design
Sharing
activities.
documents made simple, and all
Blogs
for
and
free.
wikis can allow
Google
people
Docs
to collaborate
rocks.
with others, and so when I'm working
So
on
that
something,
is a set of tools
Jake,
that we'll
for
be
example,
exploring
can
over
log
the course
into
of
my
the semester,
website
but
and
I
see
do
what
hope that
I've been
before class
doing
tomorrow
so that
you
he
will
can
take
stay
the
abreast of
time
my
to
information
sign up
without
for a Google Docs
necessarily
account
having to
if you
have a
don't
meeting
already have
or
one.
something like that. So one of the first activities we'll be doing
After
is
this
setting up
video
a
is
blog.
over, you'll
For
notice
class, what
that on
that'll
the
mean
class
is that each
website
week,
there's a
at
link
least
both
once a
for
week, you'll be
this
posting some
presentation,
updates
for
reflecting
the
on
video
the classroom
or
project you're
screencast of
working
this,
on,
as well as the
and how things are
presentation.
coming with your
One thing that I've done is in most of my
project with your tip
presentations, I've
mentor.
linked directly to
It'll
the
basically
sites
be
that
a
are
place for you
important.
to reflect
So if you see one of the
on your
terms
work.
that is underlined and has a different
Websites
color,
are the second project
that will
that we're also
typically
going to
link you
start
directly to
tomorrow.
the site or service that it's
So there are a
referring
number
to.
of services that create websites.
So the next thing
Google
we're going to
Sites
talk
is
about
one that
is
I've
just
used for our
considering
class
how much
website, and it's one I
technology
strongly
has
recommend
changed
using
the
only
lives
because
of
I found
ourselves
that
and our students
it links
when
really
we think
well
about
to other
technology in
Google
an
services
educational
like
context.
Google Docs and Google Calendar, things of that nature, so that it's very interactive with collaborative pieces. That being said, there are lots of other options for websites. Wikispaces is nice because it is actually a wiki, which means that a number of people can contribute to it. So it has the option for collaboration. That being said, on Wikispaces you can turn off that option so that you're the only person who can edit your page if that's what you choose. PBWorks and Weebly both are services that are aimed toward educational applications, and so they both have classroom options. If you become a teacher when you work in local schools, you can get a subscription to add your students, and what's nice is that those are somewhat protected in terms of security if you have minors on your site, so that you can control and manage what they're posting better than some of the open spaces. So in particular, if you're working with middle or upper grade students who you think might contribute to blogs of their own or link to yours, those are good sites. And the last one I'll put in a plug for is WordPress. WordPress tends to be the most professional one in a lot of cases. It does have drag and drop themes and that type of thing. That being said, it can be a little bit more complicated than some of the other sites to manage as an initial venture. That being said, if you have a website service that you prefer that's not on this list, please let me know, and I'm certainly comfortable letting you do that as long as you understand that you'll be in charge of managing that site a little bit more independently. So that being said, I've linked to two of my websites. The first website that you'll see on the top is actually my former elementary school's website. And so this was the web page when I was a teacher several years ago, and you can see some of the basic things when you click on the link. That it'll tell you some basic class information, but what I did a daily updates or a blog, and that way instead of That way parents could stay notified notified of what was happening in class, important activities, and those kinds of things, rather than sending home paper newsletters. Parents who wanted to be informed could check in every day, and parents who were a little bit more independent could check once a week or when major events were coming up. But again, sites as compared to blogs are a little bit more complex because they have tabs and scrolling so that you can add more information but keep it organized. They can also serve, as in the case for our class, as an electronic portfolio, so you can share your best work or show your ongoing growth and processing and deeper thinking over time in one place. They're great for job opportunities as well as to share with the students and parents that you'll be working with in your classrooms. All of that being said, before class Wednesday, tomorrow at 11, what I'd like for you to do is sign up for a Google Docs account if you haven't already done that. At that point, you need to sign up for at least one Reading Leader slot and one Tech Tools presentation. We'll talk a little bit more about those in class, and the one thing I want to for you to keep in mind is that if the slots are full and you've all of the Reading Leader and all of the Tech Tools slots are signed up, it's okay to double up, but please only do that if everything is full. You also need to make sure to read the article Maximizing the Impact and think about which blog and website service you want to use this semester. Tomorrow in class, we'll begin setting up those services if you haven't already. I hope you have a great afternoon, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks! So some of those numbers and facts can really make you think about how technology has changed the world that we live in a pretty short amount of time, and it only makes me wonder what it might be like for some of our students as they begin to get older. So I want for us to think throughout the semester about how learning and technology are different today than they were, and how they might affect learning in the future. So I'm first going to share a series of groups and tools that may help you just get familiar with some of the educational technology landscape. But the first thing that I want for you to think about is, while we have access to lots of incredible resources, one of the first things that we want to do is help our students, instead of needing to just gather data, really consider what is useful information or not. And this is a great example that I used to share with some of my students. And this is a website to help save the endangered northwest tree octopus from extinction. So what you'll see is that if you go to the particular link, it looks like a very factual and well-researched site, but if you use any common sense, you realize that it's absolutely a hoax. That being said, helping teach our students to discern the quality of websites and what information is most important and relevant is an important skill that we need to work